wanted to cover all the stages of the puppyhood. For some dogs, it will be just 3 stages, especially for small breed dogs. But for some like large and extra large breed dogs, the puppy phase goes on till they are like around 2 years of age. So it's different for different dogs, and the nutritional needs will also change throughout their life. I want to cover some basic concepts so that you understand what exactly a dog needs, and then you ask such questions. Now, what energy is? Energy is what your dog will utilize for his day-to-day activities and also for internal body processes. So right at the puppy phase, energy needs will be very, very high because they're growing also at the same time. But as they graduate to adulthood, then they will have like a balanced kind of an energy need, and it will not like increase or decrease throughout the adult phase. Then at the senior stage, it will change. People usually ask me how much to feed the dog, and multiple factors that determine where the energy comes from or how much energy your dog needs. One of the factors is at what growth stage your dog is at. The second is the breed size. Small dogs like Shih Tzus will have different energy needs than Great Danes, which are extra large breeds. There are other factors also at this energy stage. For example, the physical activity levels of your dog. For example, if your dog is running around for 1 hour in a day compared to other dog who walks for 2 hours, the energy needs will be very different because the intensity of the exercise is different. So there are 4 stages for the puppy. Right when you get the puppy home, that's the post-weaning stage. That's when the puppy has stopped drinking the mother's milk, and now you're moving the dog to solid food, right? So most dog parents are recommended what? Cerelac maybe, or then curd rice. First of all, it is very difficult on a home-cooked diet to meet their protein requirement unless you're feeding meat. Second, it is very difficult to balance it. And third, it is very difficult to meet their energy levels. They're growing exponentially at this stage. They're growing in their sleep. If you measure them in the night and the morning after, you'll see 2 different weights. So you need to keep up, and constantly the energy needs will change week after week. So you need to keep up with that also. That's why as soon as you get the puppy home, it is better to start with the puppy starter food, and then gradually you can move to home cooked and get a proper balanced diet according to this particular stage that your puppy is at. Right, and then comes the stage 2, which is 4 to 6 months. This is the stage where you need to also change protein and fat percentage and also carbs percentage in the dog. If you don't know how to do that, or you can get it balanced properly from a nutritionist, or you can feed a kibble diet. But then kibbles are also not customized to a dog's need. But if you're doing a home cooked food and it is properly balanced according to the particular stage of your dog, then it will be very, your dog will grow to be a very healthy dog, and you will also be able to avoid abnormal skeletal development. Stage 3, this is a stage where the small breed dogs will be completely grown, and even some of the medium-sized dogs will become adult. So this is where the maintenance will be 100%. Like you will have to start maintaining the dog at that level. So the caloric needs will go down. The fat percentage will also go down, because if you feed a very energy-dense diet at this stage to small and medium-sized dogs, then they will start becoming obese or overweight. And at the last stage is where large breeds and extra large breeds continue to grow. Large breeds like Labradors or Golden Retrievers will grow till 1.5 years. Extra large ones will grow till 2 years or even more sometimes. So it's very critical to control their growth. Otherwise, then you know that large breed dogs and extra large breed dogs will develop skeletal issues. And balanced diet has 2 components. For puppies, first is macronutrients, which are the protein, fats, and carbs. So puppies need primarily protein and fats. So these 2 you really need to look into, because these are essential macronutrients. Carbs are not essential, but they are also helpful. And vegetables and fruits are also very important for antioxidant, fiber, and everything. There are 10 essential amino acids for puppies that you need to meet every single day. And that's why I always recommend that the protein should be animal origin, because those are complete proteins. And then even some kibbles use 90%, like NND uses 90% animal origin protein, so that there is no deficiency in amino acids. Then fatty acids are also very important, very essential for dogs. And fats is Fat is one macronutrient, which is it is a primary macronutrient both in your home cooked food and in your kibble food. Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. So if you're feeding a vegetarian diet, your puppy will be deficient in almost all vitamins and minerals. I would say all of them. So a multivitamin would be better in that case. Minerals, particularly calcium and phosphorus balance, is extremely important, especially for large and extra large breed dogs. Frequency of meals is also one of the very common questions. So I would say post-weaning stage 1, 4 times, 5 times a day is enough for all the puppies, 4 to 5 times. Then stage 2 would be 3 to 4 times a day. Then stage 3 is a tricky one because small breed dogs will be grown by then, so they can be fed around 2 to 3 times a day. And then in the stage 4, 2 times plus a small snack is what I would recommend for large and extra large breeds. So this is the frequency of meals. Even like all the dogs who have reached adult stage, 2 times lunch and dinner plus maybe a small snack for breakfast or in the evening is fine. Don't feed too much. So supplements. There cannot be like same set of supplements for all different kinds of diets, right? If you're feeding a vegetarian diet to your puppy, then you will require multivitamin. But if you're feeding a kibble diet, then you don't need a multivitamin. Never feed a multivitamin with a kibble diet. Now, if it's a kibble and a home cooked one, and home cooked being a vegetarian, then you will have to check for certain nutrients that are missing. You'll have to check for what nutrients are already covered through the kibble, the amount of kibble that you're feeding, and then check for what is missing, and then feed only those supplements. Even in meat-based diets, you will have to check what is covered by the meat, right? Most of the nutrients are already covered by the meat, even the protein, fats, carbs, the macronutrients, and even the minerals and vitamins, most of them are covered. But still a few which are not covered, those should be supplemented in case of meat. But in case of meat-based diet, the supplements will be very low compared to these other 2 diets. What to avoid? Excessive calcium. Now I'm bringing this up particularly because I see dog parents feed multiple calcium supplements, milk, bones. I don't know, even the kibble is very high in calcium. So most of the dogs are fed a very high calcium level. Quality supplements should be avoided. Random rotation on food will lead to imbalance of diet. So if you have been given a particular set of ingredients and a recipe and a balanced diet already, then don't divert from that. Especially for puppies, it is very important to control both the calories and the different nutrients being fed. Excessive treats. So of course, dog parents don't usually count the calories that is going through treats, and then the dog ends up becoming overweight. But then if you're training your dog and you need to give a lot of treats, then you should tell your nutritionist that that this much particular amount of treats you're feeding your puppy every day, so that those can be reduced from the main food. Then the last point is overfeeding or underfeeding. Now, like I said, energy dense diet is needed for dog, but that does not mean that you overfeed the dog, right? Because then that will also lead to obesity, overweight, hypertension, so many of the chronic conditions, and also abnormal skeletal development in case of large and extra large breed dogs. Underfeeding should also be avoided, which I've covered in the stage 1 itself, that the diet should be such that you don't have to increase the quantity of the food too much. Even in a less quantity of food, you should be able to make up for the caloric needs of the dog.